almost final section of the day, I want to bring on stage our Director of Community, James McLeod, for my personal favorite part, our Community Awards.
Thank you very much, everybody. So this is Gab, and it's also my favorite part of the event as well, because I get to narrate all of the amazing achievements that have been done across the FINOS community over the last year since our last Open Source in Finance Forum. So for the 2023 Community Awards, we've actually added an additional award as well. So if I quickly run through what the awards are. First up, we have the Shining Star Award. Then we have Spread the Word. Then we have Outstanding Leadership. Then we have Newcomer Award. Then we have a Coaching Award. And then this is the new one, so the FINOS Champion Award. And then we have the Most Active Individual Award. Okay, so this is where I get into my storytelling. So I've got the best job in the FINOS team by absolute far, because I get to see absolutely everything that the FINOS community is doing to achieve greatness, for the financial services industry. The Shining Star Award normally goes to the project that achieves, lots of stars or stargazing clicks on GitHub. But this time round, we're going to diversify that a little bit. We're going for the amount of people who have been brought into various different meetups across the last year. You may have heard of Big Boost Mondays, which is something that kicked off in the UK through Tech Gateway. And it's now a federated meetup that's actually come over here to New York as of this coming last Monday, if you're at Morgan Stanley. So this time, the Shining Star Award goes to the FINOS DEI SIG. And so if Rita and Bika, who lead the DEI SIG from Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, can come up here to claim your award.
Thank you, Rita. We're going to take a picture. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Bika, come here. Can I be in the middle?
Yes. Here,
that sounds like I won the award. Thank you
it's
so much.
Absolutely amazing that the DEI SIG are getting
Thank
slides featured within the Open Source in Finance Forum now. Something that maybe didn't happen 2 or 3 years ago. So congratulations to the DEI SIG for absolutely everything that you're doing. The next award, Spread the Word, goes to people within the FINOS community or a person within the FINOS community who is actively contributing content to really advocate on everything that's happening within their SIGs or within their projects. I know this person very well. I've had the opportunity to work with them now for a few years. And I do not know where they get the time to do their day job, because all I see is all of these LinkedIn posts that actually go out, blogging, and now he's doing video content. If you haven't guessed already who this is going to, it's Peter Smulovics of Morgan Stanley. So Dave Katz, please come and take this for Peter.
Oh, hey, Peter. Thank you, Dave.
I recommend to everybody that you follow Peter Smulovics on LinkedIn if you want to hear about what's happening in FINOS, because he's really active on there. Congratulations, Peter. It's absolutely amazing. So moving on to the Outstanding Leadership Award. This person, I'm really proud to say, flew over across the pond. So I'm from the UK, as you can probably tell. And they flew across to the FINOS member meeting in London to really advocate Open RegTech, which is one of our strategic initiatives that's been running over the last year. They meet on a very high cadence, really advocating the strategic direction of how FINOS should invite the regulators into the foundation and what regulations we should actually be going after within our Open RegTech initiative. And so I'd like to give this award to Kabir Rekhi from Royal Bank of Canada. Congratulations, Kabir. It's amazing, thank you.
Thank you, Kabir. You are amazing. Thank you so much.
So Kabir is also one of our executive sponsors from Royal Bank of Canada. He sits on the FINOS board and really does advocate for that strategic initiative. So thank you so much, Kabir. Really appreciate all of your hard work. So the Newcomer Award, this goes to people who are new to the FINOS community, who really do go into the work that they advocate shoulder first and really push hard. I've known this person now for about 3 months. They started contributing to the FINOS Common Controls project, Common Cloud Controls project, and have really taken the project by the scruff of the neck and really helped all 3 of the working groups pioneer what they need to do. So I'm really proud to give this award to Michaela Iorga from NIST, who was welcomed into our OSCAR working group by Jonathan Meadows and has really gone for it. And Michaela is also a maintainer on the project and has brought NIST into that working group, all guns blazing. So a big round of applause to Michaela. So I don't know if there's somebody who can take this on her behalf. We need an advocate for Common Cloud Controls.
I'm just gonna give it to myself.
So Michaela can't be here today. She's in Washington.
Good job, Michaela. Thank you.
Thank you. So if you haven't met Michaela yet, I absolutely recommend getting on Common Cloud Controls. She's a real lead in her field and is really helping on that project. Thank you, Michaela. So the Coaching Awards, this is where people really do advocate, for the subject matter, and they really do believe in everything that they're doing to bring the community forward and really teach the rest of, the community what to do in a specific subject matter. I'm really pleased to give this award to the FINOS City CCC pioneers. I can't use maintainers because we've now got like a community of maintainers now. But Jim Adams, Ridian Olds, Jonathan Meadows, Jason Nielsen, who else? Mark Rushlin and Mo Matar. Thank you so much. It's absolutely amazing the work that you're doing.
Thank you. Amazing.
Starting an initiative like CCC is really hard, and so the amount of effort done by City has been tremendous. All of the blogs that the team have written, all of the sound bites for press releases, getting onto calls and really, coaching people through.
Does it stand for City? No.
No, it doesn't.
Just check.
Not
Just
anymore.
check.
Not anymore. Right, so this is our newest award, the FINOS Champion Award. We decided to actually create a new award because of the point of maturity the FINOS is at, where consultancies or advocates of our projects can actually start using them, picking them up, and really driving them forward by creating a business case around what it is that they do on a day-to-day basis within their businesses. And so I know that this firm has really been advocating WALTS and has integrated it into their digital transformation initiative that they've been taking out and really pioneering within the industry. So I would like to give this award to Rajan Madan from Leading Point, who has really been getting behind WALTS. Thank you, Rajan.
Thank you so much.
So you know that you're succeeding as an open source foundation when consultancies really do pick up your projects and start driving them into the industry. So thank you, Rajan, for both advocating WALTS and also contributing back to the project as well. And so finally, the most active individual is the person who we can see through the data that we collect through the Linux Foundation, who has been contributing the most into projects across the last year. This person isn't here today, unfortunately. He's from the UK and can't get over here, but has been contributing into a project called View. The team who actually lead that project aren't able to come across. They were really hoping to be in the Open Source in Finance Forum today to advocate the project and let everybody know about it. But I'm really pleased that we can mention Vue by giving Steve Heron from UBS the most active individual. So Steve can't be here today.
There's no one from UBS?
But I will be taking this award back and giving it to him in London.
No.
So all of the work that Steve's been doing in Vue and also the integration work that he's been doing on TraderX, you know, the guy, he's really been putting the effort in, so thank you. And with that, I'd like to pass back to Gab. Cheers, Gab.
Thank you, James. Thank you so much. Clicker. And a huge thank you to our contributor. I'm so bummed not to see Steve and the UBS team. They worked so hard on Vue, but you're going to get to see them very soon. We got some interesting announcements. Now, you ready for another 5 hours? Again, no. This is just the beginning. I don't mean the conference. We're nearing the end. I just mean that every year we seem to open a new dimension in our community, a new level, getting to the next stage. Last year we had, less than 500 people joining us. This year we had 1,000. But it's really about the synapses and the connections that organically get created in this community. More and more of the industry becomes open source ready. Hopefully you are enabled now to, at least many of you here, to just collaborate in the open. And so bringing these events together, putting these events together, bringing you together, hopefully creates connections that are beyond what we as a relatively small team can foster, can create. So please, my hope with the last few slides is that you understand that there's a lot of opportunity and that it's in your hands. Ultimately, you should be empowered to go after these opportunities. Where are these opportunities? Where, again, wherever your interest and commitment and time and resources lie. But I think we talked quite a bit about this paper already. AI is certainly an area where it's not just revolutionizing, it's not just a momentous time for society, but as geeks, I guess. I know I don't look like it today, but wildly overdressed. In open source, it's a super exciting time. What Brooke shared, we have now, large language models available out there for you to play around to solve your own problems, and that's what really is driving that degree of innovation. Of course, there are challenges, IP challenges. There's still a lot to be understood, both in terms of AI and open source, and certainly at the crossroads of the two. But it's super exciting. By the way, small plug, the Linux Foundation launched a Gen AI Commons project, which is about building openly governed AI large language models. We in FINOS are actively looking for ideas as to what we can collaborate on a financial services domain specific base LLM that then you can specialize on your side. So please come and talk to us at the reception. But it's not just AI. I mean, that's the talk of the town. Payments is another area that is certainly ripe for disruption, open source disruption. In India, an open source payment rails has been launched to help banks, with the unified payment interface. There's a lot of talk of CBDC, not going into the politics of it, but certainly our sister foundation, Hyperledger, has many pilots and implementations in terms of central bank digital currency, many of them based, of course, on open source Hyperledger technology. Climate, again, the beauty of open source is that when you pair it with a cause, amazing things happen. And we have a sister foundation, OS Climate, who's working on building digital tools for carbon accounting, and much more than that, transition planning. Open source supply chain security. Whilst in Europe is a little bit more complicated, in the US, open source communities and foundations are being involved at the highest level of the conversation, together with big tech, with finance organizations. We've heard from OpenSSF Our sister foundation was at the White House a month ago, and there's another RFI where they're asking for information and feedback from the community on open source supply chain security. So there's a lot of opportunity, and I guess my message here is, as we work for the last few years to enable the banks to allow their tens of thousands of developers to work in open source, you can impact change yourself, of course, within the rails of compliance and the organization. Just to kind of give you an example, how many of you have heard about, HashiCorp changing the license of Terraform? Okay, a small amount. Well, you probably know Terraform. It's a pretty widespread open source project, and the single company that was behind it decided to change the license from open source to a source available license. And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with it. They are a VC-backed company. They make their own decisions. They own the full copyright of the code. And so, at a certain point, they change their license. And that's, again, perfectly in their prerogative. But what happened next is that the community exercised the right to fork. That's the beauty of open source. You can fork and create a separate project. And guess what? That project was then contributed to the Linux Foundation to make sure that no single entity will ever own that copyright and therefore sort of pull the rug out of consumers that are leveraging the technology and creating a dependence on that technology. This is just a simple example to say, in open source, every single individual has a lot of power and a lot of initiative that can be taken. And hopefully, you can coalesce around common problems that you want to solve, ideas that you might have, and again, having the industry made pretty strong progress in the last few years, hopefully you're less encumbered, I guess, by the frictions and sort of the limitations of your organizational boundaries. I just want to close with, as I said, my favorite part of the conference is when we see talent that is generally not always sort of shining in the limelight, the community awards. I love to give visibility to some of the developers. This is a developer from Turntable who participated to some of the hackathons. You can expect many more next year. It was such an amazing experience. We had an hackathon 6 years ago, and there maybe were like 15 people, maybe 10. Last year, we had 300 people joining us. I hope you all see the individual value for you as well, besides your organizations. And understand that this is an open source community. It works through meritocracy. Just yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago, we've elected our first 2 technical oversight committee members. They came completely from the community. There's no tie to their membership or whatever the role is. Sure, they work for 2 of our members. But this was voted, democratically. They started as maintainers. Of course, you've heard Peter Smulovitz probably a few times today. But I want to also send shout out to Damien as a Morpher maintainer from Capital One. They stepped up from the community, and they're now growing through the meritocracy path. And so hopefully you can understand that there is an opportunity for you to grow as an individual, not just for your organizations. So how do you do that? Just a recap. We launched a bunch of training this week. So Skill Up, you got all the QR codes there. Up there is a page that shows you all the training and certifications that are now available specific to FINOS. And last but not least, this is the last slide. Next year, we are going back to London. We are going to do 2 OSSFs. This year we decided to focus on New York, but this is a conference that has happened across the pond for the longest time. So we are going back to London. We don't have the dates just yet, but it's going to be spring, summer, let's say, more towards summer. If you look at the QR code up there, you can sign up for updates, especially if those of you who flew over the pond. And at the end of the year, again towards Q4, we'll have another OSSF in New York, hopefully bigger and better. Would love you to consider sponsoring the conference if you found this very interesting. That really helps us make it as impactful as we can. And with that, I actually promised that we were finished. So go enjoy the drinks. Thank you so much.